If it's a white man who has the queen on his money, run. Get out of there.
Ooh,
Period.
You're saying no British men.
No British man, no Canadian men. I will make exceptions for Australians and New Zealanders.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my stance. That said, my inbox is open.
If you... Welcome to When Harry Dubs Sally. This is a podcast where we watch a romantic comedy. We discuss the relationship in it.
How long we think it'll last, when they think we'll break up, who breaks up with who.
I'm Tess Menzies.
I'm Natasha Vinnick.
Yay!
Yay!
And today we watched Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Ooh.
This is based off of a book by Casey McQuiston.
Wow, you're so good.
And I have never read this book, although I have wanted to read this book. They write a lot of queer rom-com or romance novels. Mm-hmm. And I guess now I don't have to read it. So, yay.
Well, people would disagree. People would say, still read it. I bet there's more to it than happening in the...
Maybe. I felt like this was... Okay, so sometimes when a movie is based off of a book and you can tell that they took dialogue directly from the book, it annoys me.
Yeah.
This movie, I felt like I could tell they did that and it didn't annoy me. I was like, I kind of like that this is following like a beach read rom-com. Like it's a little bit cheesy, but in a way that I was into.
Yes. I enjoyed it.
I really liked it.
Neither of us had seen the film before. This is both of our first time seeing the film.
And I thought it was super fun.
Yeah. Do you want to
It
give us
was
the log
very
line?
cute. Yeah. Red, White, and Royal Blue. When the feud between the son of the American president and Britain's prince threatens to drive a wedge in U.S.-British relations, the two are forced into a staged truce that sparks something deeper.
Ooh.
Okay. We've got Taylor Zakar Perez as Alex and Nicholas Galitzine as Prince Henry.
I had a great time watching this film.
Yes.
It was so fun.
It was so fun. It was long, but I like enjoyed the process. I thought they were super cute together.
Everyone in this film was hot.
Yeah.
We love it.
This has one of my favorite romance tropes, two of my favorite. And
enemies to lovers.
Yes. And forbidden.
Ooh, fun.
Enemies to lovers and it's forbidden.
That's the dream.
It was great. I
That's the
loved
dream.
it.
Yeah.
I really liked this.
Just like we normally do. How long do we think they're going to be together?
I struggle with this one.
Yeah. I need some silent time in my head.
Yeah.
We do the 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to do the 3, 2, 1, but I'm very open to my mind being changed. That's what I'm going to say.
2.
All right.
3, 2, 1. 5 years. How did you get to 5 years?
I just feel like I really like them together and I really want it to be forever.
Yes.
I just feel like with the royal obligations and also Alex is trying to get into politics.
Exactly.
And that doesn't mean that they couldn't be together.
No.
But Henry would have to give up a lot, which he might be willing to do.
Yeah. There's
But
something
I
later.
just feel like there's drama, like it's messy, and I don't know if their lives, unfortunately,
are going to work. Ultimately,
Mm-hmm.
no. So I also felt that way. I almost said like 7 or 8 years, and I'm like, that's crazy. So then I hit 5. But I think it's going to last a while because it's their first time getting to be publicly with a man.
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal for them. I think they also represent something big to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a hard thing for them to like let go of. Like there's a lot of meaning around it.
do you think that means it could last forever if they decide that there's big meaning around it? Also, we do live in a universe where things are better.
Yeah, we live in a universe where things are better.
World.
I think 5 is good because I think there's going to be some trickiness around like what happens when his mom's campaign ends. Like, what does that look like? I'm cool with forever too, but I think it's going to last a minimum of 5 years.
Yeah. I think this is a long-term relationship and I would love for it to be forever. I think they're very cute, but I think that they both do have either family obligations
Yeah.
or, in Alex's case, ambitions
Yeah.
that might get in the way of Henry's obligations.
I also could see Alex being a guy who's like, maybe I want to try more stuff with more dudes at some point, you know? I could also see Henry being like, maybe I want to, they could do an
Yeah.
open thing. A lot of gay dudes do open things.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, I love it. I think you can definitely like make a meal for a while out of like, your culture's
Yeah.
different from my culture. This is fun, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think they could
I
last
think
a
they're
while.
really cute together.
Yeah,
So
I like them
think
together
that
a lot.
they have strong potential for
Yes.
a long relationship.
Yeah.
And I would love it to be forever, but I
Yes.
just think it's complicated.
It's too complicated, maybe.
So we start off, it's Prince Philip's wedding, which is Henry's older brother.
Yeah.
He's
He's the one who's
heir
gonna
to
be.
the throne.
Yeah.
So like realistically, what Henry does shouldn't matter, but of course it's the royal family, so like
Yeah.
they care.
I'm like very bad with royal stuff.
Yeah.
Don't understand what's going on most of the time. Seems weird to me.
Yeah, they're just sort of,
It's very goofy
it's kind of crazy.
that they matter at all.
Yeah. Like I get that they're just sort of a figurehead.
But why then?
What I've heard, the explanation, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree or feel
Sounds
a
like you're
certain
really
way.
justifying
I
the British royalty. Sounds like you're
love the
obsessed.
royals. I'm a big Anglophile.
We've always said that.
Yeah.
We always say that on this
And we
podcast.
always say that this is a pro royal family podcast.
Absolutely. You know who's unusually into the royal family who has no right to be?
A lot of people, but who?
My mother from Peru.
What?
I think she gets fed on YouTube too much content there, where it's the content that makes her decide that Meghan Markle is bad before Meghan Markle did her dumb
Oh.
cooking show.
Okay.
But like,
but once she did a cooking show, your mom said it's okay.
I don't know. But
okay.
the cooking show didn't make her look good.
Gotcha.
But before
Oh.
this, she just hated her because she ruined the royal family. And I'm like, why do you give a shit about the royal family? And this feels
also
racist.
ruined. It also feels similar to this situation
Uh-huh.
where it's like Harry doesn't matter. He's not going to be king.
Nope. Why do
Also,
we care?
I don't know what the fuck the issue was. It was just that I feel like Harry's whole thing was like, I saw my mom get fucking killed.
Yeah, and I can see them literally attacking my wife right
Yeah.
now. Why would I put her through this?
Exactly. We're going to have a child. Why would I do this?
It's crazy to me.
Anyway, the royals are insane. What I've
Yeah.
heard is that they're like, if something like 9/11 were to happen, they're like,
God
you
forbid.
would rally around the royal family rather than the prime minister.
Why?
And so because that's what they represent. They're like, they're there for like our version of patriotism.
Yeah.
That's the royal family.
Yeah.
But they don't make laws.
Yeah.
So it's like you can rally around them with your patriotism, but then the prime minister can do like the government stuff. I think it kind of makes a little bit of sense. Maybe we wouldn't have this like cult following of Trump if we had a royal family for everyone to worship instead. I don't know.
I guess
But
it's like a
also, I
fun
think
little
it's
cute
stupid.
thing. It's a cute little fake thing where we're like, we all like this cute
It's just
fake
celebrities.
thing.
It's like the
Look over here.
Kardashians. It's like, oh,
very
we're
silly to
doing.
me.
It's crazy the amount of pressure that is on them.
Yes,
And like
when they're fake. I don't get
yes.
it.
I agree.
Not into it.
So, okay, we've got Henry, and then there's Alex Diaz, who he is the first son.
He's the first son, and we have a lady president.
Yes.
In this timeline.
Everything about this timeline, I'm like, wow, this is better.
It's so much better.
We've got Uma Thurman as the president.
I gotta say, I don't buy her Texas Southern accent.
I didn't either.
No,
But
didn't
I
feel
still
anything for me. But I
love
still
her.
love watching her.
Still
Telling you,
loved
she
it.
was hot. Every woman in here was hot.
Yeah.
The two men were
everyone
hot.
was hot. It was
Yeah.
a hot movie. We did a great job with that.
Yep.
And so
Our first thing we see is, like you said, oldest son Philip's wedding.
yes, Henry is obviously there.
Yes.
And then for some reason, Alex is there, and he was sent as like the representative for the
America?
for America, which I think is a little crazy. I'm like, I feel like the president should be in attendance, not just her son.
Is that
But
like
whatever.
okay? Is that like normal? Like when whoever got married to Markle, whoever got married to Kate, did our president go?
I guess I don't know for sure,
Yeah.
but I would like, maybe I wouldn't be surprised, but maybe they're like, we deal with the prime minister, like we don't like,
I'm
we'll
kinda
send
like,
our
do
son.
some work. You don't need to go to a Kardashian equivalent wedding.
That's
I'm like,
actually, you know what? That's a solid point.
Yeah.
So I don't
send
know.
the son. I'm fine with.
Neither of us know shit about.
And I hope
how
I
this
never do.
works. No,
I
we
hope I
don't want
never
to know.
do.
Don't explain it to
No.
us,
Yuck.
please. So we are meeting both of them. All of the royals are walking by. And, you know, they see each other. They've met before and they
met
don't
once
like
before,
each other.
And they give each other shit. Alex is like, he says he's 6'2", he's not.
Yeah, there's that.
And Henry's like, this guy is irritating because he's so animated. It's very silly. And it's like, you guys already love each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nora is who Alex is there with. At first, I thought he was dating Nora. I was like, are we together? Just friends?
I thought they both had beards, but they don't.
Yeah.
The other, Henry's beard, I was confusing his sister for his beard. So, which wouldn't be crazy.
I mean, it is the royal
It's their
family.
thing.
So I was like, oh, is he with Nora?
Yeah.
But they're just
No.
friends,
Yep.
and Nora works maybe on the campaign.
Yes, exactly.
And then, yeah, Henry's with his sister. Both of the women that they are with comments on the other's appearance.
And how hot they
and
are.
They're both like, no.
That guy's hot. That guy's hot. And the
I
boys are like,
don't
no,
agree.
they're bad.
They both hate each other. Now we're at this wedding. They have a gigantic wedding cake.
75,000 pounds.
Yes.
Is the price of the cake.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's a crazy cake. It's
no
very
need for
big.
a cake. Like, it must have been,
Nobody's going to eat that. It's going to get thrown away.
it was over, I would say over 7 feet tall. Would you say that?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Like, it was
Yeah.
massive cake.
Yeah.
Goofy.
Gigantic cake.
Our president's son, our American boy, Alex, is drinking.
He is drinking
A
whiskey
lot.
because, I don't know, he doesn't want to be there for some reason. But also, it's an open bar. You're at the royal wedding. I don't know. But you are representing your mom, who is president. So
He
you
should
should
have been
maybe
better.
be better.
He's feeling anxious because he knows already that main boy Henry doesn't like him. And he tells Nora beforehand he's worried about like using the wrong fork at dinner and everyone's taking pictures of him
Yeah.
and all of this stuff. And I'm like, I'm glad a man is finally nervous about using the wrong fork. I'm tired of these films where they teach women how to eat. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. His vibe right from go, especially as he's drinking around this party, is gay, but no one can tell because they're all British anyway.
Everybody in this room is gay.
Yeah. You know, when they're European, you're like, probably gay.
Probably a little bit gay.
Yeah.
He's also bi, but
He is
yes.
bi. Absolutely.
So he's drunk. He's going up to Henry, being kind of like, "You're British," blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like kind of making fun of him, and then he stumbles into the cake.
Ugh.
Oh geez, he gets frosting on his hand. Then he gets it on the prince. Everyone's watching.
Yep, they tug a war and basically knock over the cake all over them.
On top of them, of course, people are taking pictures.
Yes.
Big drama.
all over the TikToks, all over the Instagrams.
Headline is they fell down and got
Yes.
cake all over themselves.
Yes.
And I just think both of them should have been better, but they have a little crush and they don't know it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it was really Alex doing the most damage, in my
Yes.
opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
But yes, they should have been better. Everyone should have been better.
I just think that, like, as the president's son, and especially in his late 20s, like, you're not a child. I don't know why he doesn't have more media training for this situation, but that's fine.
Alex, this whole film is a little goof in it. He's not really listening to who anyone are, who he's supposed to be.
No.
And I guess he's only done this. No, he's done this for 4 years.
Yeah, his
should know
mom is
better.
running for re-election.
I get that Henry's done this his whole life, but still.
Right. Henry
He should
is
know better.
polished. Although, like, the whole cake thing, I was like, Henry, just like walk away.
Yeah, leave. But you know, there's an attraction.
There's a little bit of a flirt.
Yep. So that happens. Uma Thurman, we go to America.
Yes, we're in America now. Uma Thurman is like, why, did you do that? That looked bad.
It looked crazy. Absolutely. Honestly, like this whole was a big hubbub. Rachel Maddow called it like Cake Gate or something.
Yeah.
What a dream for that to be the big problem in the news.
Oh, everything about this movie, I
cake
was
fell?
like, what a
I wish.
lovely timeline. We have a female president.
Uh-huh.
We'll get to it, but we're trying to flip Texas blue.
Yep.
That's like a thing we think can happen in this universe.
Yep. Crazy.
The royals aren't murdering people.
We don't know that.
Well,
We don't know that at all.
Their son, him, I don't know.
That one isn't, but
I
the
feel-
fucking Philip
Yeah,
was a creep. And literally at some point in the movie, they said, don't keep Philip and your mother on a staircase. Like they implied that he would kill the
'cause he
mother.
wants to become king.
Yeah.
I just felt like when they had that conversation with the king later, I was like, I feel like this would go worse in this timeline.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All of this is a dream.
Right. This is what I'm saying.
I agree with
the
you. I
royals are
agree
not
with you.
being as bad as
They would
be.
be. Yes, I agree.
He would have had to leave the royal family in order to get to the ending that he gets to.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Zara is
Like
the
helpful lady in the presidency.
yeah.
What's the term for that?
She could be, I don't know if she's a chief of staff.
Yeah,
could
like
be a
something
chief
like
of
that.
staff.
Something like that. Or like whatever is like
She's
assistant
very
but big deal to
close
president.
to the president,
Yeah.
and she also, is managing a lot. So chief of staff could be it.
Yeah.
She's hitting him with a pillow. She's like, "You're flying back to London tonight to undo all this damage that you've done.
Yeah.
We want them to look like they're friends." She's like, "You have to hang out with him and
You
be
have to
friends."
role play like your friends. And it works.
Role play. He's on a plane. I was like, is he flying first class and not private with his Secret Service, or is this what like?
I didn't know. I agree. I had the same question. Like, is this first class or not? It doesn't really make
I
sense.
was like, he should be on a private plane,
Obviously,
but
yeah.
whatever. That's fine. Maybe it is private, and I just don't know shit about airplanes, which is fair. They take their pictures, shaking hands. They're doing this interview where they talk about how they're friends with each other and they're kind of fucking with each other in
They're
front
doing
of
the
the
thing you do in like
press.
improv shows where you're like pimping each other out. Where you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're so good at rapping, Steve.
Yeah, he's
They
so
do
good at
that.
rapping. You want to hear him rap? Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Very fun.
It's very fun. And then they go to a children's hospital
Yeah.
where Alex is starting to see another side of Henry.
Henry visits this hospital every couple months, but usually not with photographers, just on his own time. 'Cause
Yeah.
Maybe
'Cause
he's a
he
sweet boy.
cares about children.
Yeah.
So they're having this moment, and then it sounds like there's gunshots. So the Secret Service
Shoves them
throws
both in a
them
closet, of
into
course.
a closet. They're falling on top of each other.
Uh-huh.
Henry compliments his cologne.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know. And then at some point, Alex or Henry, one of them is like, why do you dislike me? And then they explain that however many years ago in Melbourne, Henry was a jerk to him and he could have been nicer. And, he agrees that he was like wrong to not be nicer in that moment, but also his father had just passed away and he wanted to get
Yeah.
out of that party. And they all see a little side of each other.
They're
Maybe they're
starting
closer.
to think maybe
Maybe there's something here.
maybe there's something here.
Yeah.
We find out that the shots were actually fireworks that some kid brought in.
Yeah, because wow, what a relief to not have fucking guns in
Yeah.
England.
Also, we're in the UK, so
It's all
I
different
don't know.
there.
I don't know that someone would have guns.
No, but that's why it was so scary to them. They're like, this is crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. But we're in a good timeline where nice things happen, and that was nice to watch.
It was great.
So he's, seeing him talk to the sick kids, and he's thinking, okay. And then he's like, you have to come to my New Year's Eve party.
Yep, in a few months, hopefully.
Henry's like, I would rather die. Whatever. They still are kind of being like, I don't like him, but you
Yeah,
can tell
we
that
all
they're
can
kind
tell.
of like, I don't know.
You just don't dislike each other that much immediately unless you really like each other.
I
There's
know.
literally no
we
reason.
are proof of this.
Yes, we did not like each other.
We did not like each other when we first met, and it's because we are an enemies to lover.
Yeah, total enemies to lover story.
And I
and
love that
forbidden
dress.
love also because
It
of our
was
height
very
difference. Very forbidden.
Everyone said, "Why is that short girl with that
you
tall
can't do that
girl?"
inter-height
That's
relationship.
horrible. They both do improv.
Yeah.
What an improv scandal! They're
It'd
becoming
be
friends
incest amongst the same team.
on the same team and friends.
They're so
No.
bad. Yeah, that's us, friends to lovers.
Yeah. Friends to lovers, enemy to
Sorry,
friends
you get
to
it.
lovers.
You get it, whatever.
That's the next step.
So then there's a scene with our boy Alex and
Mm-hmm.
his father where Alex is like, wham, 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 that prince is elite and privileged and live in a palace. And
Dad's like,
you're elite and privileged and live in a palace. They're in the White House,
Yeah.
Very silly.
And he likes to be like, oh, I'm working class. And I understand that, like, he didn't grow up royal. It is true. He did not grow up
It's
at the
night
same
and day
level
how
of
they grew up.
privilege.
Yes, absolutely.
But he is
he's
living
got a
in the
different
White
life now and
House.
he's got to grow up,
So he runs into what we eventually find out. I was like, is this an old friend? We
a
find out it's
journalist.
a former lover or someone he hooked up with maybe once.
On the trail.
Who is a journalist now. And he's kind of like talking with him. I don't know.
Yeah, they're chatting. It seems a little flirty at some point.
Right.
And then our boy Alex is somewhere, and he gets a WhatsApp message from Prince Henry, like picture of Alex with like his right hand in his pocket, and he's like making some joke about like, oh, you always having a wink in your photos or something.
Yeah.
And then we see just like a montage that I could have watched forever of them texting and flirting.
They're having flirty texts. They're teasing each other. They're talking at all. And it was like cute the way it was filmed.
Yeah, I
loved
it.
They're obviously texting on other sides of the world, but the way that it was shot made it seem like they were
just
next
in the
to
rooms
each other
next
talking.
to each other. It was really cute.
It was very cute.
Yeah. And then at some point they're on a phone call during Thanksgiving, and I was like, wow, a phone call. I would never. I'm not allowed with Tess.
We're not at our lover stage yet.
We are not there. But they're so cute. They're having like a nighttime phone call.
For some reason, the turkey that's getting pardoned is in the same room as Alex. I don't know. Anyway, they're,
they do a whole no, you hang up first.
no, you
hang up first.
you hang up, you
Love
hang
it.
up. Now we're back with president stuff, and Alex is like, I think that we can win Texas in this re-election. And I'm
Yes.
like, that's wild.
And he's got a plan for the campaign, and they're waiting for the prince to confirm the New Year's party, and then it's the New Year's party essentially.
Yes. We're at the New Year's party. They've set up like a tent on the White House lawn, which I thought was weird, but fine.
Yeah, good for them.
I don't know what the rules are, so why not? They're all talking. There's, women flirting with Alex
All
like
night.
crazy. I was shocked that I feel like Henry is kind of alone. And I was like, there would be women fawning all over the Prince of England.
That's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And Alex and Henry like each other, but all these women keep trying to dance with them. And then Henry's like, I can't dance. I've only done ballroom. And Alex tries to shake his hip, and then Get Low plays.
Yeah, and they're like, let's go do Get Low. It's
And this is all of our song. I couldn't help it. I started dancing on the couch. I was like,
love
yes.
Get Low. If you're like a millennial, you gotta love
You
Get
can't
Low.
help it. You can't
You
help
gotta see it.
it.
You gotta point to the window
and the wall.
Yes.
It was a good time.
A great time. There was like this fun little moment where everyone like gets low, but they stay standing,
standing up, looking
and
at
they're
each
having
other
this
from across
moment
the
together.
room.
It's so cute.
It's silly.
It's 10 seconds to midnight.
We hope they kiss, and instead a bunch of women kiss Alex.
No one kisses Henry,
which is crazy.
I think that women would be throwing themselves at him.
I would think so as well.
But it's fine. So Henry leaves. He's like, I'm feeling
He's
things.
all fussy and emotional.
Yeah. It's snowing. And Alex is like, did I do something wrong? I'm like, why do you already think that like you did something
It's
to
because
cause this? Because he
It's-
knows.
They all know. And Henry basically, he doesn't say this, but he wishes he could be publicly, like he wishes he was anonymous.
Yes, he would be a writer and live in Paris.
Date who he
And
wants.
He's like, the people who interest me, I can't date. And then he kisses Alex.
And then apologizes. And then Alex doesn't go follow him as he walks off.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It was cute though.
It was cute, but I'm annoyed with Alex. I'm like, come on.
Go follow him.
Yeah. And now Alex is sending messages, but Henry's not responding even months later. I think Henry is like so embarrassed or feeling bad about not getting a response.
And he's with Nora. Nora is his friend who I wasn't sure if he was dating off the top. Back at the campaign place.
And she has to explain to him that princes aren't allowed to be gay.
Yeah. Alex is like, what?
I don't get it.
Alex is a little bit stupid, and that's fine.
Alex is a little bit stupid during a lot of this.
Yeah, Henry probably likes that though. Somebody has to be a little bit stupid.
Alex said something that I thought was dumb. He said that Henry grabbed his hair in a way that made him understand the difference between rugby and football. All right, whatever.
I don't know.
I bet that was from the dumbass book. I'm sure the book was good. I'm sorry. I just didn't like that line. I thought it was dumb.
I mean, I feel like it was just like, oh, he's different than me.
He's
'Cause
British.
he's
We all
British.
get it. And I just want to say on the record, if it's a white man who has the queen on his money, run. Get out of there.
Ooh.
Period. Uh-huh.
You're saying no British men
No British man, no Canadian men. I will make exceptions for Australians and New Zealanders.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my stance. Don't touch them. Been there. Not good.
Interesting. All right. I don't have strong opinions on this, so I'll just go ahead and say you're right.
Thank you so much. That said, my inbox is open. You know what I mean?
if you
Try me.
yeah. Give it a shot. Why not?
All right. So
She asks, have you been with a man before? He's like, yeah, I'm fine with that. He's been with 2 other guys.
Yeah.
Whatever. He has this memo talking about how they can win Texas, and Miguel, the reporter from before, now reads the memo. He got it.
yeah.
And he's like saying that there's some good ideas
Yep.
in there.
Yep. And then it's the dinner with the prime minister, which is where Henry's supposed to arrive. He doesn't see Henry. And then Alex does see Henry and is just like transfixed. And he's like, and he gets the guard to put them both in the red room.
It's like, we got to go to the red room.
And this is where it's just all caps. Yeah, kiss him. Stop talking. They're making out. I love it. We love it all.
We're kissing. Secret Service comes in and she's like, oh, what? Oops.
I'm like, you guys gotta be cooler about this.
No, they're really bad at hiding things.
Objects shouldn't be flying around. You shouldn't be making noises. You gotta be quieter, whatever.
They're not good at hiding it, but they're so wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
And that's great.
A lot of fun bits. They refer to one of their dicks as the Royal Hardness, as Big Ben later. That's funny.
I really loved this line at the end of it. You're going to stay 500 feet away from me. Then at midnight, come to my residence where I will do some very bad things to you.
Hot.
I was like, oh
So
my
hot.
God.
So hot.
I want someone to say that to me.
Amazing.
He goes back to, this is what Alex said to, Henry said this to Alex.
Alex said that to Henry.
Yes. Alex said that to Henry. Henry comes. Now they're hooking up.
Yeah.
We notice that Alex has a key necklace, and this is a key to his family's house in Austin.
Henry says he's never owned a key his entire life because he's a prince. He doesn't need one.
He doesn't need one.
Wild. Alex said to Henry, I thought you hated me. And Henry said, I hated how good you looked like years ago in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Very cute. I also loved every time I felt like there was like sex happening, they would cut to the Washington Monument, which is very
funny.
phallic.
That's great. I love that. Alex admits he's bisexual. Henry says he's gay as a maypole.
Yeah.
And Henry says, I can't afford for you to fall in love with me, which I think is supposed to be a little bit of a joke, but I think it's very serious. And I'm like, listen up, Alex. Nothing's going to be able to happen, you know? Whatever.
But Alex is a little bit of a dummy.
He's a dummy.
But he's a hot dummy, and that's the best kind of dummy.
He is really hot.
Yeah.
And a real dummy.
So Henry invites him to a charity polo match. He's like, I don't know how to play. It's like, and Henry's like, yeah, you'll be watching. It's like, Alex, dumb.
Alex,
what do you think someone's gonna put you on a horse and tell you to play polo?
It's so silly. And he's watching him ride a horse.
Yeah,
probably
this
getting
is
hot. Yeah,
they hook up in some shed,
like
where
a polo
things
equipment
are.
room.
Yeah, they're hooking up now. Now they're in Paris.
But they keep leaving rooms together with one straightening his tie. And I'm like, come on, guys.
They're not keeping it secret at all.
Yeah. Also, like, you're in England. Everyone's watching the prince, right? He is a person there, you know?
Yeah.
So then they are just going to have a bite to eat in Paris.
Yeah, because they can do that. They go to Paris.
He asks Henry if Henry has a last name, and I'm like, Alex, you can Google. There's no way you haven't Googled him by now. You're fucking obsessed with this guy. You haven't Googled him?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway, he finds out he's got a really long ass name.
They both have longer names. They're talking about, like, who knows that you're what, you know?
Yeah, the princess, B knows, and then obviously Nora. Don't let any selfish desires get in the way.
That's what the
of
king
the
says.
crown
The grandfather
or
says
making
to the
family
son.
look bad.
Yep.
He mentioned this to Henry just at some point in his life. So like he's like, I'm pretty sure people know that I'm gay, but they just like
they're just
are
like, no,
you're not allowed to be gay if you're a royal.
Yeah, just put it in your pocket.
Which is crazy because I think most of them are probably gay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, I think whatever.
Most people.
I think a lot of people are gay. I think there are bigger problems they have than being gay.
There's a lot more problems
Yeah,
the
so
royal
whatever.
family has than a gay prince.
Yep.
And then Henry's like, I think we should make love tonight. And Alex is like, what? Who says that? He's never had sex with a man before, though.
Yeah, they've never
and
done.
now Henry has this, I went to an English boarding school, dear. Trust me, you're in good hands.
And I was like, does that mean that they're just fucking all the boarding school? Is that the implication here?
Probably.
It's a boys' boarding school and they're all just boning each other. Good for them.
Yeah.
You know? And so Henry's getting dicked down by Alex. And as Alex is doing that, he says, I can't believe how wrong I was about you. Which honestly, that's a weird line to say during sex, I think. I don't actually like that during sex.
You don't like for somebody.
I hear that.
That's fair. Yeah.
And I'm like, what did you think about me?
I mean, I think Henry in this moment knows what he thought about him.
I guess I would stop all of the sex.
Like, tell me everything.
We have to have a discussion.
I do think that Henry knows what he thought about him.
Yeah, I guess.
But
guess.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. And I was curious if they switched or not. It was very unclear to me.
What
We
do you
only
mean
saw
by
one
switched?
boning the other. I don't know
Yeah,
if we
yeah,
saw
if
the
we
other
took
bone in the
turns or
first.
not.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, but we don't know. We don't know.
Natasha's like, I'm just curious.
Listen,
Do we
they're
trade?
presenting that. Why not present more?
Yeah.
I'm a girl with questions, okay? Anyway, Henry couldn't make more obvious how much he hates being a prince. He's like, he keeps asking, like, is there any part of you that wishes you weren't the son of the president? Are you like me? And
Yeah, he really hates being a prince because
Yeah.
he can't be gay. And Alex is like, I like helping others. I like being in politics.
Yeah.
Their situations are different.
very, very different.
Oh, we didn't say how long we think they're staying together before we did this.
Okay, should we say it now and I'll cut it in at the beginning like it's supposed to be? Because that's
Yeah,
what we
let's
should do.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm so sorry. I was like going through it. I was like, oh, did we even
Oh my God,
say?
you're so right. Okay, sorry. Okay, it's
All right. We're going to guess
how
off the
long,
top.
how long do okay, just like we normally do, how long do we think they're gonna be together?
I think what we should do is cut this into the beginning
Yeah.
and then have this happen in the middle as
Oh, like
well.
do it again? Twice?
Yeah, so people know that we messed
That
up.
we goofed it? Sure, we'll let them know.
We don't have to deal with that.
Okay.
Anyway, I struggle with this one.
Yeah, I need some silent time in my head.
Yeah. We are killing it on
Wow,
this
we're really
episode.
good at this episode. There have been no problems with this episode for
no
the
problems. We
record.
have not started and stopped multiple times.
We do the 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to do the 3, 2, 1, but I'm very open to my mind being changed. That's what I'm going to say.
2.
All right.
3, 2, 1. 5
5
years. That's what those ridiculous ass. All right, cool.
All right.
Now the
let's go
continued
back
podcast
in
like it's
time
normal.
Where we
Nothing
totally
weird happened.
We definitely
Okay, they
did
talk
not
about
forget to do that.
No. Henry's like, is there any part of you that doubts what you're doing? Alex is like, no. Like I saw, like he's not used to seeing people like himself in power. Like he values that. Henry's like learning more about that. It's beautiful. And then fucking Miguel.
He releases an article saying that the president is planning to flip Texas, and Uma Thurman is like, that's news to me.
Mommy president is pissed.
Yeah, because this didn't come from her.
And she's like, I don't want to be the first woman to lose re-election.
Yeah.
That'll feel bad.
Yeah,
We get
she
that.
needs to focus on the Rust Belt. I love that, I love that they think they can flip Texas in this world.
It's beautiful.
That's nice.
Yeah.
She says her constituents need her to be realistic so they can be idealistic.
Yeah.
She's like, you're no longer allowed to speak to the press. You're no longer allowed to speak to the press. He does his little, yes, Madame President. He's
Yeah.
like, fuck you, Mom.
And there's like something he says that I think is supposed to have changed her mind, but there's not enough context. Maybe it makes more sense in the book. She says, like, I was 28 when I won my first election, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the conversation before he walks out, he says to her, you were 27, not 28 when you won your first election. Ask any of the women and they'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was trying to figure this out as well. My guess that I
Yeah.
came to is like she's so far away from like where she came from, like
Yeah.
now she's president, but any other woman would be like, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
You getting elected,
Yeah.
winning your first election, maybe
Yeah.
wherever she became, like whatever that election was.
Yeah, like it was meaningful for so many other people. Don't
and
forget
so
that.
they would not forget how old you were, but
Yeah.
she has, because she's become so far removed
Exactly. And so, yeah, then she like suddenly is like, oh, what is the campaign memo? She asks Zara.
She reads it.
They
and
look at her
she's
first
like,
campaign.
That's really great. And they're going to send him to Texas. And they're like, all right, you're doing it.
Yeah. So he's so excited to go campaign in Texas. And he and Alex and Henry are still emailing back and forth. Sexual
He
email
says,
sometimes.
you should visit. And he's like, I'm literally a royal. Like,
Yeah.
stop suggesting stupid
Can't
things.
do that. And then we cut to the Democratic National Convention in Brooklyn. Alex gives a sick speech. And the journalist tries to hit on Alex again.
Yeah, at
but
the hotel
he's
bar.
mean to Miguel about it. I don't know why he's so mean. It's so
Yeah.
stupid of him.
Yeah, he decides to be mean to Miguel. He's like, I guess he's like, oh, you released the memo. And he's like, yeah, I'm a journalist, bro.
Yeah, and it's just like getting this pissed when you're this big a deal is stupid, but also like you turned it around. You got to campaign in Texas
Right.
because this all happened. Otherwise, you might never have.
And then Henry just walks in. Miguel is seeing this.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, you need to be more secret. They are so dumb.
They are so dumb.
You need to be going into very private locations
Yes.
if you are doing this. This
Yes.
is crazy. You
Absolutely.
are both major
I don't get it.
people.
Anyway, they have sexual times in the hotel.
Yeah, they're hooking up. He's asking Henry lots of questions.
Henry's only cooked for himself once. It was unsuccessful, but on Grindr once it was unsuccessful. Henry's not allowed to vote. His
Yeah.
favorite movie is In the Mood for Love. I was wondering, should we watch it? Do they end up together in the end?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Sounds like he suggested it.
Yeah, he did suggest
Thanks.
it to us. We got a
Thanks,
suggestion.
Henry.
Thanks, Henry. Thanks, Prince Henry.
But they're having this. He has interviews to do. They fall asleep.
They fall
basically.
asleep. There's a question that has Henry ever had his heart broken?
Yes.
And he said the day his dad died. So I think there's something big about like this is a first love,
Yes.
like big first love.
This
like
is big first love for both of them.
It's gonna last a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Next morning, it's
He-
almost 7 a.m. He has interviews to do.
And Zara comes in. She can hear that there's people inside the hotel room. She has a key card
Bad.
for some reason, but maybe that makes sense. And she's like, who'd you hook up with? And at first I was like, why is she so desperate to find out? But then she's yelling at him. She's like, did you have her sign an NDA?
Yeah.
Like, did you? And I was like, yeah, that does make fucking sense.
It
Like, you
all makes
haven't
sense.
done any of the things.
Yes.
You are literally the first son.
Yes.
And then she finds the prince and
Yeah.
she's like, what the fuck?
She's like, you're having sex with the heir. And Henry's like, technically, I'm the spare, not the heir.
Yeah.
We're like, ha ha ha. She calls him little Lord Fuckleroy. And she says
Yeah.
she'll Brexit his head from his body.
And then she's also like, who knows about this? And they're like, no one. And then they
Except for the
list off
Secret
like
Service
10
and
people.
sister and Nora. And it's
And
so
like, and he's
silly.
like, and I told my mom.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, what did you think? Oh, she was real. Oh no, he says his sister.
Yeah,
and
so
he's
he's
like,
like,
what do you
"What'd you
think?
think?" Like,
She's
say,
like,
what
she's
if
so
they-
happy.
Like if they had to have this conversation together.
It
you
was
know?
very cute, but
so
also like Zara's like, what the fuck?
What are you doing here?
And then Alex is like, please don't tell my mom.
Anyway, then he goes to talk to Mommy Prezi.
And he's coming out to her for the first time.
Well, he's telling her that he has a relationship, and she's like, "This is great." And he's like, "But it might affect the campaign." And she goes, "She's not a Republican, is she?"
Fair. Fair.
And he's like, "She's not a she." And her first thing is she gets on that phone and she says, "We're gonna need some pizza."
Yeah.
And then she
It's
has
a
the
very
most
cute coming out moment.
lovely conversation with him. She's like, "Are you gay, bi, fluid, queer?" Like she says all of this stuff. She like, I don't know. I
It was
can't
great.
imagine a mother being so lovely.
It was wonderful.
Ugh.
She says the B in LGBTQ is not a silent letter.
What? She's perfect.
She's perfect. She also is like, you need to figure out if you feel forever about him before you take it any further. Solid advice. Again, like it sucks to be this public.
Yes.
Like it would suck to be this
Yeah.
big of a deal because,
Yeah.
and especially for both of them, because it's like, it's not decisions that they made. Like Henry just happens to be born into this family. Alex, it's like, yeah, he has political aspirations, but like ultimately his parents made this choice for him.
Absolutely. Their life has been shaped by outside forces,
Yeah.
big time. And she says to him, and it's true, that a relationship like this will define your life. Mm-hmm. And then she talks about like
She's
safe
like,
sex stuff.
But she also is like, you have to get HPV if you're
Yep.
bottoming. I'm like, you should get an HPV vaccine no matter what. Every single person listening to this, if you don't have your HPV vaccine, you should go get it.
Yep.
Doesn't matter any of that.
It's great. She's so knowledgeable about gay guy sex. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then she says, you have to tell your father. And his father's chill, and the dad and our two lovers and their two friends all go to some like lake house or some kind
Yeah,
of
they
house
go to
together.
their family vacation home.
Yeah.
Dad is like, invite Henry. He's
Yeah.
like, who's ready to party?
It's so funny.
They're having fun.
It's just like a fun montage, them playing volleyball, them at the bar taking shots.
They go to the bar and do karaoke, and I was like, did all these people have to turn in their phones or something? Like, I was like, this seems a little public
It
for
seems
something that
very
is meant to
public.
be private, but
It's true.
whatever.
And Henry does karaoke, which is cute. Alex likes him. And then he's having conversation. Alex is having convo with his dad. Like, what do you think of? His dad calls himself the patron saint of gender neutral bathrooms in Austin.
Yeah.
Love that.
He's a congressman.
And then he says, like, sometimes you got to jump. Hope you're not standing on a cliff. He's like, go for it.
Yeah. Very
And-
supportive parents. Really, like this, I loved everything about this movie because it was like such an idealistic world, honestly,
Yes.
but not in a way that made me mad or like I feel like sometimes when you end up in a world like this, it's like, well, this just isn't realistic in a way
Yeah.
that's frustrating.
Yeah.
But I just thought this was so cute and lovely and
Yeah.
nice. I loved it.
It was very sweet. I don't know. I guess I don't know if I think it was realistic or not.
I mean, I don't think it was realistic.
Yeah. But
At
like
all,
you didn't,
but
you
I
weren't mind-
enjoyed
you
it.
didn't- Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, sometimes when things don't feel realistic, I get irritated by
Yeah,
it.
it's like too
And this
sickly
didn't-
sweet.
Yes.
Yeah,
This didn't bother
I agree.
me.
This is when I get annoyed with Alex.
Yeah. He's a dummy.
Yeah, Alex like is just like talking about like what their life will be like once the election happens. They'll go out in public holding hands, and I'm like, are you forgetting that Henry is a
Yeah.
prince?
Henry's like, I am still a royal.
Henry told you not to fall in love, and as he's talking to Henry's literally like turned around, and I'm like, Alex, are you not reading the room at all?
No,
he just
he's
keeps
not.
talking, and then Henry panics and jumps in the water before he can say, I love
yeah,
you.
Alex is about to say, I love you. Henry jumps in the water, swims away, ends things with Alex, and goes home.
I don't even know if he says the words to end things. It almost seems like he just
Yeah.
packs up and leaves
He packs up
while
and
he's
leaves. We
sleeping.
do find this out because then he's like, Alex is understandably like, give me a fucking breakup, please. Like, explain what happened. You just
Yeah.
pieced out on me.
Yeah.
He leaves. He felt himself getting too close.
We get a
He's
sad montage. He's leaving on his private
Yeah.
jet.
ignoring Alex's calls,
Yeah.
but still reading articles about him.
Of course.
He is, whatever.
And the sister says, at least you'll never be king, so don't worry,
Yeah. And then Nora is telling Alex to go get his man in London.
Yeah.
She's like, you got to get an answer.
And he
that makes
does.
sense. So he shows up at the palace.
Yeah.
It's been a week.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the man I love has vanished from my life without explanation. And Henry has this moment where he's like, I don't think that you see me for who I am. You see
Yeah.
me for who you want me to be.
Yeah.
I wasn't raised by a loving, supportive family.
Yeah.
And that is true. Alex is not, he's like pretending like they're in the same situation and they
It's
aren't.
night and day. He says something that's different than kind of the vibe we've gotten most of it, though. And maybe this is a book thing and there's a lot more information about this, because up till now, the vibe is that Henry cannot come out because it will upset the family. It will be bad for his whole like royal presentation or whatever. And I think maybe in the book it goes more into this, because this time instead of that, he says, I will not trade one prison for another.
Yeah.
Because he's worried that being in politics would be a different kind of prison. And we actually don't hear him talk about that before this.
That's
so
a
I
good
think
point.
in the book they must maybe go into this more, because this feels
Politics
a little bit
feeling more
out
like
of
a
left
prison.
field.
Yeah.
That it being equally a prison, just a different kind. And so it felt a little
Yeah.
out of left field for me, but it's true.
Yes, they
know?
are both trapped in there, which is why it
But one
feels
does not see it as a
hard
prison.
that it would last. It
Yeah.
would be hard for it to last because they are both trapped in their situation.
But Alex doesn't see it that way.
He doesn't. I feel like he might like, but no. His parents are supportive. Like,
He's
yeah,
very supportive. He can do whatever he wants. Like, it's
Yeah.
very different, you know?
he's gonna flip Texas. He's an optimistic boy.
Absolutely, you know? And Alex is like, we can love each other on our own terms. Because essentially what he's telling Henry is the way you're doing things, you're going to be alone forever. And it's true. Like, it's just unreasonable.
Yeah.
So he's like, if you want me to go, you have to tell me to leave. And Henry's
And
like, please don't
then,
make me. He's
you
like, I
know.
won't leave this room until you tell me to go. And then
Yeah.
he's like, there's something I want you to see.
Yes, and he takes him to the
A museum.
Royal Museum, maybe, or the museum within the palace.
Some museum. It's closed.
Statues, hella naked
Yep.
statues.
He's like, this is where I come at night and jack off. He didn't say that.
He didn't say that, but
it
that
felt
was
like it.
that was the vibe.
It was the
I got
vibe.
as well.
Yeah.
He's dreamed of taking someone he loved there.
Yeah.
And then Alex plays some music.
I Can't Help Falling in Love with You, that song.
Yeah, by
Dun,
Perfume
dun,
Genius, though,
dun.
their cover.
Yeah, so cute.
They
dance.
It's so cute. Henry says, when they write the history of my life, I want it to include you. It was so.
It hurt my
was
heart. I was
so
getting emotional.
Cute. I loved this movie.
It was so nice. Henry says, like, be patient with me. It's so sweet.
It's very sweet. Alex has to leave now, and Henry gives him his, like, I guess, royal ring or something.
It
Some
has
ring.
H on it.
And then Alex gives Henry his key necklace.
To his house and his heart.
Yeah.
And he's like, go win an election, Alex.
Yeah. Alex says
And-
he loves him, but that he'll, let him take his own pace. He's starting to understand.
Yep, he'll be as patient as he needs. And then immediately, Henry's emails to Alex have been hacked and posted to Reddit.
Yep.
Ugh.
Awful. And security photos are popping up because they were not good at hiding
They
this.
were very bad. And so the whoever the palace people were in charge, confiscate Henry's phone and laptop and his sister's as a precaution. I'm like, this is creepy.
Yeah. But
Yuck.
the royals are creepy.
I don't like it.
And they've taken everything, so he can't contact Alex. Obviously, all of this is bad, and the president is worried that this is going to affect her reelection.
Yeah, and we see like a clip of the news that Miguel is talking, and the person interviewing him is like, you were able to somehow write this article, this whole thing that you leaked 2 hours after the Reddit things came up. And Miguel's like, I don't know what you're implying.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a piece
And
of
she
shit.
also asked, like, why is this anyone's business? Solid question.
Yep. It's not.
Nope. But he leaked the emails because he was obviously feeling a little bit pissy
Totally
that
butthurt.
Alex didn't want to kiss
Yeah.
him again or whatever.
I hated it.
So what a douche. Then Alex addresses the press.
Yeah.
And he has this really nice speech where
Yeah.
he says that he loves Henry and that no one should be forced to come out. People should come out on their own terms.
Yep.
And, of course, Henry is watching this. It's very
Yeah.
sweet.
And the next week we'll find out if they won or lost the election, but still Alex is all sad. And then Zara just hits a point where she's like, all right. And then she gets her emergency phone and she calls it and she's like, let's put these two lovesick homosexuals on the phone together. March your skinny, perfect ass to the prince, or so help me God, you'll never see me naked again. That's when we find out
Yes.
Zara, the chief of whatever, is pretty connected to the prince's chief of whatever equivalent.
Yeah. They're both important people, and she also has this nice moment to Alex where she's like, yeah, I fuck, but I like keep things secret. I'm not a dum-dum like
Absolutely.
you.
And I think he wants to hug her and she says, touch me and die. Love Zara.
Yeah, Zara's great.
And she's hot as hell.
Yeah, everyone in this movie is hot.
God. And so we see them talking on the phone and it's so sweet. And he says Alex is coming to London. We see them embrace on the staircase. It made me have feelings.
It was so cute. It's very cute.
Yeah, Henry
And
plays on the
then,
piano.
Yeah, they have this, nice moment. And then now the king is there. It's Stephen Fry. He's coming to talk to them.
Yes.
And he's issued a denial. He's like, we're gonna say that everything that Alex said was not true. None of this is real.
Yeah, it
and
was
Henry's like, I don't want that.
It was like fabricated by other people who want to cause us harm. Ridiculous. And they're like, no, they love each other deeply. Turns out Grandpa has read all the emails.
Yeah, he was like, I read the emails. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't doubt that you love each other, but like, we are the royal family. We do not get to love.
Yep.
Actually.
He said, we have to maintain a traditional royal image. And they're like, why? He also pronounces homosexual
Homosexual.
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 It was bizarre. But it turns out while they're having this conversation, there's several thousand people in a crowd outside the palace with like flags.
Rainbow flags. They are, and they are a very public figure, which I think also goes back to Alex's whole thing about being like, growing up, my dad didn't see, his dad was a immigrant from Mexico. His family came here when he was 12.
Yeah.
His dad didn't grow up seeing people like him in politics. And I think that this also is that.
Yeah, it's
like a lot of queer people don't see themselves in positions of power.
And
so
huge.
they are representing this, and there's so many people supporting them, and it's like it's very sweet.
Yeah. Henry has a little dramatic line where he's like, I will no longer be the prince of shame and secrets.
Yeah.
It's like the drama. He's like, the world will know me for who I am. And they got into the crowd together.
Yeah, everyone's cheering. It's very cute.
We also hear that these crowds are actually showing up in a lot of different places too, not even just
all
at the
around
palace.
the UK. I assume like the various palaces around are having people show up.
Yeah.
And so it's very cute. And then we get to
election night.
Yeah. The entire race relies on Texas.
Yep, of course
That's what
it does.
it's come down to.
It's rough.
And we live in a good timeline.
God.
And she wins Texas.
I gotta tell you, just even seeing the election map, it just gives me
I wanted to puke.
bad flashbacks.
I wanted
right?
to throw up.
I know.
And I knew, I was like, obviously this movie is going to have a happy ending.
It'd be
I understand.
so bizarre if it
she
didn't.
just loses Texas.
And they're like, oh.
And they're like, he's like, I guess I can just be a royal now.
Yeah,
like,
this is our new life. I'll Meghan Markle it.
Yeah. No, I knew that. I just like seeing that. I was just like, bleh.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all.
Just bad feelings,
Bad vibes all around. But we don't. This timeline is not hell for this movie. Even though she was like, okay, whatever. She needs Texas to win. They flip Texas. But I'm like, if you're flipping Texas, you're getting all those other states too. In a world where Texas flips, we are blue waving the shit out of it. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, in theory,
because
our boy has been so effective with his fancy plan because he's politically savvy, just not savvy in any other context in his life.
Dumb in every other way.
Real dumb. But our girl won Texas. She's reelected. The prince goes on stage with the whole family, which is very funny.
Oh my God. I also am just like, oh my God, we have a female president. Oh my God, the female president wins Texas. Oh my God, things aren't hell.
It's so nice.
It was so nice. It was a fun little reality. And I was like, man, I wish this was our world. But it's not.
It's not where we live.
It's not. And that's fine. And that's why we have movies.
Yes.
But it's a happy ending. They go back to his childhood home. He's like, let me show you where that key goes to.
There, and I'm like, where's the Secret Service?
This is what I wrote down too. I was like, where the fuck is your Secret Service? You just won Texas and you're going to bike around some town?
And your prince is here. None of this makes sense.
Someone is going to shoot you.
I don't get it.
This is election night. You just flipped Texas.
I mean, I assume it's not election. I assume it's like some nights later.
Okay,
but
whatever.
Still, the point is they should have the Secret
Even
Service
if this
around.
Happened, the Secret Service needs to be there.
It doesn't make any sense.
There were a few situations, but this was the most egregious where I was like, where the hell is the Secret Service?
And then before they go in the house, they say, we won. And then one says, we won. And we won means two different things, but both are sweet. Cute house stuff and the credits.
Yeah, and the credits. It was very cute. It was a very cute movie.
I loved it. Do we agree with our conclusion that we stated for sure at the very beginning of the podcast?
Definitely did at the beginning and
not
didn't
midway
forget to
through. Yes, I also agree with 5 years.
I think I like 5.
I like 5.
I would love it to be forever,
We all want
but
forever.
I think it'll be hard.
Yeah, but minimum 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
who breaks up with who? I know.
If it ends, I feel like it's going to be Henry.
You think it's Henry ending it?
I don't know though, because also Alex may be like doing his politician thing. It could be a mutual situation where they're both kind of like I could see them maybe being the type of couple that like really tries to make it work and they let it go to the point where it turns bad and they get to that breaking point where you're both kind of like,
we're done with this. We need to be done with this. Yeah.
I could see it being one of those.
Yeah, I agree.
But I hope that they last forever. I would love it to be forever.
We want it forever. We're desperately hoping for a forever.
Yeah. And this is a good timeline, so maybe things work out.
Yeah.
And I would love for that to be the case. But in real world, 5 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
I thought it was cute.
I thought it was
Watch
so cute.
It, check it out.
Yeah. This is our first film for June, Pride Month. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yay.
Be gay, do
Be
crime.
gay. Be gay, do crime.
Yes. This
has
has
been
been Harry Dump
Sally.
Sally. We'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Bye.
Be gay, do crime.
Yay.
Bye.